Hey everybody, and welcome to E-Lite It Up, the AEW Dynamite review show on the Wrestless channel. I am your host, David Cohen, joined by my caffeinated co-host, Jeff Coody. How are we feeling today, buddy?
Brother, I've got 3 shots of espresso in me. I'm ready to sort through the highs and lows of bloody Dynamite from last night. And there's a lot of highs and not too many lows, I'll be honest.
Yeah, the lows that never say they're welcome, so.
Yeah, only a minute.
A New York minute, some might say. And we are here to review AEW Maximum Carnage, the first television special since they started streaming on Max, which I imagine is the reason they chose the name, aside from everyone involved being nerds. But yeah,
got no Woody Harrelson as Carnage though.
Yeah.
Very, very disappointed.
No, you're right. It's Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
This is coming to you live from the Andrew J. Brady Music Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it is quite a nice venue.
Oh my god, dude! It's one of my highlights of the move to the smaller venues. Feels unique, feels new, feels fresh. I liked the little kind of balconies they had up at the top, opposite Arkham. Lovely, really nice. You could see everyone. It was really nice. Good stuff.
Really fun. And as I'd just like to make a brief note here, Taz is now back on the commentary desk full time, and thank God. He gives absolute zingers on commentary today.
There's Jones.
Great chemistry with everyone who comes in as guest commentator as well.
And so good.
We first have a promo covering the various matches that you will see throughout the show today. Of course, the first half of it is spent hyping up the Death Rider, specifically hometown boy Jon Moxley, and his challenger, Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, Hobbs obviously got injured in his last match with Mox, which was the first defense Mox had of his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And he clearly out for revenge. He's also said he's stepped up since his comeback, which is true. If we're going by the meta story of what the Death Riders supposedly stand for, Hobbs is probably one of the better examples of it.
Yeah, and then he showed out at the main event. And also, obviously, Moxley, the man who brought him into AEW, technically, you know what I mean? From Dark and stuff, which they cover as well.
Team Taz, everyone except, all except one were on the show in prominent spots and did very well.
One vanilla midget Brock, some might say.
A Pebble.
A Pebble was not on the show.
Yeah. Poor bug.
I love you, Ricky.
Yeah. It also included highlight packages for the Women's Casino Gauntlet match coming up. One last nicely done promo package for Christian versus Hook. And it ended with a recap, of course, Kenny Omega's return to Dynamite last week. Him jumping Don Callis, the Don Callis family jumping him in return, and him being saved by former enemy / little bro Will Ospreay.
Yeah, kind of still frenemy, I suppose they are now.
They both hate the same people.
They assaulted Don Callis for no reason. He was there to congratulate Kenny on his comeback. Those bastards. They killed Kenny. You bastards.
Yeah. And speaking of, your very first match is probably the most hyped match on the entire card, which is, of course, the Best Bout Machine taking on Dumb Machine, Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage. And my God, what a match it was.
Oh my God. I mean, a lot of people, maybe myself included, until I always remember how good Brian Cage is, being like, oh, it's Brian Cage. But in the words of him and in the words of a person who was his mentor, who better than Cage?
Nobody.
It was great stuff. I love seeing Brian on my screen.
Moonsaults. A man that size should not be able to hit standing moonsaults.
Yeah, Mr. Roydie Magoo himself, I think, of the last year from OSW.
Oh my God. Okay, so obviously we had Don Callis on commentary. He immediately gets on saying he was victimized by Kenny Omega, which was a lovely little thing. Throughout this match, you could the very audible and increasing in loudness of "fuck Don Callis" chants throughout the show, which I love personally.
I mean, it's part of his game.
Yeah. And the story of this match is very simple. Kenny's coming back from diverticulitis, and he's facing someone who is aware of that fact, and also it has limbs the size of tree trunks. So
yeah.
Not a good combination, but let's see how Kenny does.
Not for Kenny, no.
Great strike exchanges early on, as you want from these two. There is one of two very awesome sequences involving Rana's being countered into powerbomb. So Kenny goes for a Hurricane Rana on Cage. Cage picks him up out of this, hits him with a stiff powerbomb, rolls him up for a second one. Kenny then counters that into a Hurricane Rana.
Was that the outside to the inside powerbomb?
No. We'll get to
we'll get there. Okay.
We'll get to that.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So the cut Kenny got in his forehead from his match with Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty has reopened at this point. It's a cool visual, just a little trickle of blood. There was not a whole lot of blood on this show, I noticed, and that has John Moxley in the main event, which is.
Did you see the canvas after that main event?
Well, yeah, but it's not from a very visible place.
I get what you mean. Yeah, it's just Bob's trying to rip his earring. Randy Orton.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. Kenny and Cage anyway.
Lance Archer gets up on the apron. He gets a huge pop when the crowd realizes who he is, and he distracts the ref. Cage lands a very tough blow to Kenny's stomach, which ow.
Yeah,
and then he gets him out in the ring. Oh, sorry.
You good, man?
Gets him up, hits a military press slam onto the announce table. It doesn't break, which obviously his stomach. Ow. And then Don Callis gets in for these little
This was so good because he was rabbit punched him, and then he gets back on commentary, and I think it was Bunch just going, I hope he breaks his hand. And then Callis goes, there's medical around here for everyone but me. I broke my damn hand off him.
It's great. I love it. Yeah.
Callis is a king.
Yeah. So they fight onto the ramp. Kenny goes for the Rana again. Brian Cage picks him up and just runs and chucks him into the ring.
It was phenomenal stuff from Brian Cage.
Love Brian. Yeah.
It's like it's spots like that are always lorded over when Brian's in the ring, because I think everyone forget. It's kind of like Max in a way that everyone forgets how good they are until they get in the ring. They're like, oh shit, they're good at this, aren't they? They're pretty alright. Brian Cage is phenomenal.
I watched this when I was quite tired, so I'm not exactly sure of how. I think they were set up for a superplex. Kenny gets out of that, hits, jumps off one rope, jumps from so Cage is on the buckle. On. Kenny gets on the top rope, runs, jumps, twisted midair, hits a sunset flip powerbomb. Cage. And then as soon as Cage rolls up, hits him with a sick V-trigger.
Oh my god, yeah. Because he hit one and it caught him kind of on the cheek. He didn't catch him in the foot.
Yeah.
He made sure he got back for that one. He got him clean.
They brawl for a little while longer. Kenny hits a few more V-triggers, gets him into the ropes, hits the V-trigger, and using the ropes, pushes Cage up onto his shoulders. And that gets him up, hits the one-winged angel for the win. It was a good opening match. I like
the prettiest and most convoluted finisher ever, but I bloody adore it. It's so good because a lot of times when you have maybe a overcomplicated or convoluted finish, it's you just hit it easily out of nowhere, and anytime Kenny hits it, he sells how difficult it is to hit it.
Especially
you know what I mean?
Size.
Yeah, because usually there'll be a few goes for it because it's so protected as well. I love it. Great work.
I think what a lot of people, especially people who their corn on the cob, wouldn't realize is that Kenny's entire moveset is built around setting up the one-winged angel because it's attacking the neck and shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look at it properly, and lo and behold, in the modern day, in 2025, not in the late 70s to early 80s, Mr.
Psychology.
Experience.
They were kicking out pile drivers all the fucking time in the 90s. Yeah.
But anyways, away from that curmudgeon.
Yeah. So immediately after the bell rings, the Don Callis family jumps Kenny, Carl Fletcher, in
Oh,
his
Carl
very
Fletcher.
looking like he's going to a punk concert. Yeah.
Like Punk Orton.
Yeah.
Randy Orton was cool.
He looks like he was singing for the Prodigy. Like,
Oh god, yeah.
yeah, I love that.
The Pit Brother.
Great. Yeah, so obviously Ospreay comes out to even the odds with Fletcher, and he succeeds for a little while, and then Konosuke Takeshita comes out to another big
And
pop.
the world weeps because this man murdered everyone.
Yeah, he just Takeshita lines,
Oh,
lots of violence,
oh.
beautiful. There's a slugfest. Carl Fletcher. There's a slugfest between Omega and Takeshita. Carl
Yeah.
Fletcher lays out Omega. I think it was with the Dragon Suplex.
Yeah, it was either
Yeah.
it was Dragon or Snapdragon. Yeah, he like
Yeah, because he's a dick. Ospreay fails to even the odds. Takeshita and Fletcher get their respective rivals up to hit the sheer drop Rainbuster and the Raging Fire to leave them laid out.
yeah, and then they argue at each other while they're on the mat.
Bruv,
what
buddy,
you do, bruv? Let
buddy.
me fucking help you, bruv. Hey, buddy, pal.
Versus, hey, buddy. How much about it, pal? Yeah.
That was very good.
I was very much enjoyed this match and the segment afterwards. Very fun.
Yeah, I think as a reintroduction to Kenny, like I was kind of a bit like, Brian Cage, we're Brian Cage last week. I was very much like, it's Kenny Omega, he's coming back. He just had a big match with Gabe Kidd, but realistically, you want to keep him healthy for the big shows. And if there's a safe worker who can, yeah, well, but if there's like a safe-ish worker who's phenomenal, and just by his look, it doesn't matter if you're a newcomer, you see this guy on screen, you're gonna be like, oh, he's a big boy. And it was a good match. You're obviously setting up some sort of triple threat, or not triple threat, but trios match down the line, I assume.
Yeah.
With the family versus Fletcher, Omega, and I assume Buddy, maybe for
Buddy or Mark Davis.
I would just think Buddy, just because the weird, like, the Ospreay bit with him, like, last week. He's like, I've always got your back. I got you, bruv. Like, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, I would just like to say, there have been more rumors circling that Malachi is just gone. And the general response from everyone has just been good.
Hey, now. Let's just say allegedly, because he's gonna fucking do a promo from his car saying, "Oh God, what do you mean I'm gone?"
Look. It's like what's been communicated to people as far as it seems that he only ever saw AEW as a stopgap and wanted to go back to WWE immediately.
The guy wouldn't lose to anyone who wasn't in the bed. Like,
even then, to like people like Adam Copeland, he just like he only passed out in a submission that also had barbed wire and wrapped around him. Yeah.
Yeah, like, look, a touch of the Miros, I think. Don't get me wrong, you won't find a bigger Malachi Black mark than me. Prime Black, back in like Black and Gold Black. That was my fucking boy. All right, I'm very excited to see him back in WWE. That doesn't excuse him being, I assume, a fucking pain to work with over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, look, hopefully Buddy and Julia and Brody can flourish because they're all phenomenal.
I assume Buddy will challenge for a title at Grand Slam, which, as we know, is a longer television special, it seems like, rather than just a full thing, which, okay, fair enough. It'll air early for us over here, so...
Happy days, I can watch it with me brekkie. It'll be good stuff. Yeah. I get a fry on the go. Watch me Grand Slam, happy days.
Lovely. And we move on to that into... well, I suppose similar direction. We move into a nice little promo package for the Hurt Business, specifically for MVP ahead of his in-ring return.
Oh yeah, where he's in his little like secret bar. That was sick.
He's not. It's not very long, but he has two absolutely killer lines. First of all, MVP says, "I'm not just great at management. I'm great at managing the oxygen that you breathe."
Oh my god, he's King Midas when it comes to the mic.
Yeah, just show some training in the club, getting ready. Just we're the Hurt Syndicate and we hurt people. Simple to the point, cold as fuck.
Yeah, there is a longer version of that like package. If you do want to watch it, it's on their YouTube. They put it out like the other day because I was flicking through it. It's very nice. Not too much from it, but like it's nice to see more MVP.
And, ironically enough, from MVP to a guy he once tried to fight, we go to the New York Minute.
They squashed their beef. Okay, they're good friends now.
I know that, but it's still funny.
It is brilliant. He shouted at him from an elevator and ran away.
I'll just read out my notes verbatim.
Okay, cool.
It says, "I do not give a fuck." Some random multi-man tag match between the Learning Tree and the Death Riders versus the Faces. Yeah.
No, this was a good bit because it was the Learning Tree Death Riders versus
12 men, motherfuckers.
That was so good. It's like, that's a dozen motherfuckers. So good.
I love Brian Keith. He's just such a he's living the bounty hunter gimmick. You know.
Yeah, he's my goat.
And then they bring up the fact that why the fuck would John Moxley work with us? We're just like, he doesn't give a proper explanation. I'm just saying, here, acknowledging the problem in logic isn't fixing the hole in the logic.
Yeah, it was a very Jericho round of that.
Yeah,
but
we have a few more packages before our next match, but these ones were good. These ones, were good.
Monet package was cool.
Yeah, next before it was, but before we get to that, we get to Ricochet. First off, Justin Roberts with a great call. Show some love for Ricochet.
And he got
immediate boos. Yeah.
No love for Ricochet.
Yeah. I would just like to point out on commentary, I think it was Excalibur. It's like, because obviously the toilet paper at World's End, you got the scissors. I just want to say this rock, paper, scissors metaphor is already overplayed. Please stop trying again.
Get it in the.
There's just, as Ricochet's making his entrance, there's a random cut to a white guy jamming along. Just thought it was funny. Yeah.
Hey, it's an X-Men 97 rip. You got to rip to that, brother. It's such a good theme.
Yeah. And then this will make Sean proud. As soon as Ricochet even approaches the mic, all you hear is bald, 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 bald.
My eyes!
Yeah, and then immediately after that, whose house? Swerve's house. Yeah, Ricochet doesn't even get to talk from 90 seconds because he just gets booed. He just holds the mic and you just hear boo, boo,
boo forever.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so that's how it's gonna be. He says, "A picture is worth 1,000 words," and then is immediately cut off by whose house?
Swerve's house.
So the song plays, and as soon as the garments plays, you see Donna hitting him with a chair.
Nana hits him with a chair and then does his little dance over him.
Perfectly timed. Yeah, I love that.
It was so good. You could see him popping over the crowd as well in the background.
So Swerve, because he knows how big and bad he is, just goes slowly. God. As soon as he gets even close to the ring, Ricochet immediately fucks off and runs away.
Dude, the only thing colder than Swerve's like slow walk was the snowy outside that Ricochet ran into, because he like literally ran out of the arena. Into the snow.
Swerve just very slowly stalking after him, instilling, I imagine, the fear of God in him. Yeah.
Swerve obviously watching his Ishii tapes from a few weeks ago. Slowly stalking Ricochet.
We'll get a brief appearance by Ishii later.
We will indeed, yeah.
And then we move from that promo to the last package of this little segment section. It's a day in the life of the CEO, Mercedes Moné. Now
What a
has
turnaround she's
4
had.
belts.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
god.
she's
So
the
good.
queen.
She is.
Not her former compatriot. She's the queen.
Yeah. Shout out Charlie.
Yeah, she was on the talk show Sherry, I think her name is.
I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like she had a lot of fun. Seemed like very high energy. I like the set that this lady has. Very nice.
It was pretty. It was very pretty.
Yeah, she goes shopping, pearl necklaces, as you want to do when you're that rich. She has a great training montage. She hits, I don't know who she's in the ring with, but she hits her with a very vicious looking backstabber.
Yeah, she killed her.
Just bang! Immediately.
Crazy.
Yeah. And she cuts off with Monet, changes everything. I'd just like to say it's such, as you mentioned, what a turnaround, because when she came in, it felt very paint by numbers, very Fed light. But she's definitely, even now, these segments just feel a lot more, watchable.
It's just like, it's crazy what a couple of good matches do for like the weight of the character. Because like obviously a lot of people argue against AEW with like, look, you're more focused on in-ring wrestling. There's not as much focus on like story and promo packages and the more pageantry side of it that WWE does, which is fair. It's a different presentation. But it just goes to show that like Monet going from having like admittedly kind of stinkers and the character work really wasn't working. That match with Stat and done.
It
She
made
was
her
a
remember
different
who she
individual.
was.
Yeah. She had a touch of the Tony Storms for a bit, and then she got back.
Yeah.
Timeless money.
And then
but yeah, great.
We had our next match, which is, as I like to call them, Chicken Party. That's Mark Briscoe and the AEW World Tag Team Champions Private Party versus the Hurt Business. So, I hit the wrong button, but it's fine. It's recording again. We're good. Okay. So, I would just like to point out my first 3 notes for this are: we hurt people times 30. Reach for the sky, boy. And then as soon as Private Party comes out, shots.
Oh, we want shots. Oh, we did
shots. Yeah. So obviously it's not the first wrestling match MVP has had since
Bloodsport,
2022, but yeah, the match of Bloodsport, but that was more submission grappling based. Bloodsport's a weird place anyway.
Yeah,
this is the first regular match he's had in quite some time. So this is his legacy match, and he shows out very well. He's still rocking the Punisher gear, which I love. Yeah,
I love the Punisher gimmick. It's good stuff.
I would just like to point out they mentioned a lot of MVP's accomplishments on commentary, including him being the first ever IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Rest in peace, that beautiful belt. I'm still sad. I'm still sad. Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm sure we'll shout it out on a list or two at some point in the future.
Watch out for that. So, yeah. Shelton and Bobby immediately go after the tag champs, whereas MVP just immediately starts mauling Briscoe.
He really does.
Gets him in the corner and just punches him repeatedly. It's great.
Just pummel the poor chicken. He was plucking him.
Briscoe gets so much heat in this first part of the match. Just gets absolutely battered.
Phenomenal babyface work. Briscoe's just like a forever babyface,
Yeah. It is lovely to see, even after all these years, people still remember to chant "Ballin" whenever he hits the love that.
Big pop.
Yeah. This only gets a 2, but Briscoe's eventually able to fight out and tag in Private Party finally.
Yeah, and they run wild.
They run wild. I think it's and this is one of my favorite bits of the match. He starts hitting chops, and as he's hitting them, you just hear shots.
That's great.
I love that, and that needs to stay. I hope it will.
It's another benefit, I think, of the smaller crowds and venues, because there's more bits I'll shout out through the show that I really like that I don't think happens in bigger arenas.
Yeah, like in independent shows, it happens a lot.
Yeah,
Case in point, Roddy Strong and his shitty little boots.
Exactly.
Yeah. There is a lovely little thing where Zay and Gwen hold the rope, second, third ropes open for Mark, and he just does a cannonball through the ropes.
Glorious.
To the outside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. All three on either side fight in the ring. As MVP gets knocked off the apron to the ground, I just wrote as wow, MVP actually took a bump.
I respect it, brother. He's working. Yeah. He's working.
But it doesn't last long, as Quen is in the ring. He gets hit with Shelton's super kick, and that is the 3. The Hurt Business now have a pin over the tag team champions, which means they are the next challengers and probably the people to take the belts off of them.
Yeah, I loved that Shelton won with that.
Yeah, the super kick is now a finisher. Yeah,
crap! Like
it's the most over thing he does. Yeah.
Anyone else hits that transition move, he hits it. It is a bloody finish. But I would like to take a bit of time to praise them for putting Private Party with the Hurt Business, because a lot of fucking shots have been thrown at Private Party. They haven't really done anything since they've won the belts. They haven't had the focus. They've been doing this, that, and the other. This is the biggest they've felt. They feel important just by breathing the same air as the Hurt Business, and they got a decent bit in on them before they got pummeled. But it makes them instantly that next level. Like, it instantly elevates them. They were over here. But yeah, like Bobby and Shelton made light work from there, because they were getting beaten, and then they reversed that extreme combination they were going for and dropped them like super kick, spear, like pin. It was good. It'll be a phenomenal match. It'll be great tag match as well for those belts. I can't wait. It'll be very good.
Great. It'll be heartbreaking, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we go into that to a very Pain by Numbers Rated-FTR package, which is fine. I still love them.
They're friends, David. They're good friends. They're friends.
Cope and Cage and FTR are going to have a match on pay-per-view by the end of the year, I guarantee.
Oh my god, 100%. And heel FTR, please. I know I said I don't want ever Christian to go face again, but heel FTR.
Yeah. We get a confirmation that Ricochet versus Swerve will happen on the February 5th Dynamite when AEW return to Atlanta. Lovely. Yeah. And then Jeff Jarrett gets in the ring. Huge pops, you know. Woo, woo. He ain't dead, he ain't the Rock. Why was that in his theme song? I know he changed it to Jeff. Right. That's just weirder. Yeah.
You know.
All right. So Jarrett mentions being humbled by his 2025 so far. You know, the last 3 weeks have been humbling for him. Yep. And before he even so much as get another word out, he is immediately cut off by MJF. There's quick cut-offs tonight. I don't understand why.
I think they were just trying to run through because it was a pretty packed show.
It is also just very funny. Yeah.
Max, when he was coming into the ring, Vince is going to the ground, and Taz is
I have this knowledge.
Yeah, he hops on. He's like, he just gave some gum to a fan. That was nice of him.
Taz so on fire tonight. I love him.
Oh, cleaned it. He absolutely cleaned it.
Yeah. So, you know, they have a little rah-rah back and forth. Jeff calls Max lazy for not being in the Gauntlet, and this pisses off Max immensely, and he fires up and stays fired up for the next 10 minutes.
He bowed up quick, baby. It was...
Max just, you know, gets the traditional cheap local heat while also calling Jeff Jarrett a carny. Love that.
He is a carny.
He is absolutely a carny. Yeah.
If you look up the definition of a carny in the dictionary, Jeff Jarrett will be holding a guitar.
That's going to be on our. That's going to be in our awards next year. The Jeff Jarrett Carney Award.
Oh, I love that! I can't wait.
Yeah, and Jeff, despite what it devolves into later, both lads get in some fucking killer lines. First of all, Max just goes for the easy shot. Jeff Jarrett is the last thing you see before your favorite company dies.
Yeah, he's the Grim Reaper of pro wrestling, which is not wrong.
He then brings up Jeff Jarrett's alcoholism, which, you know, boo.
A raging alcoholic, I mean recovering.
Some lady in the crowd fires back, and Max just goes, "Listen, skank, I'm talking here, shut your fat mouth."
Oh, his crowd work is phenomenal.
Oh,
it's
great.
So good.
You're a great comedian in other life.
Oh my god, he will be at some point. I guarantee it.
Yeah. So, continuing with the alcoholism, he wants to send Jeff to rehab, but he wants him to leave Karen Angle with him. Well, Karen Jarrett, but he brings up he brings up Kurt Angle as well. Then you'll know what salt of the earth and a gold medalist balls taste like.
Yeah.
Jeff, to be fair to him, just goes completely off of just like
he knows
how because all of this has been said before, obviously. Brings up how played out this is. Jeff brings up the memory of Owen Hart and how it lit a fire in him and how that's led him to wanting to be the AEW World Champion. Max, Jeff is the original scumbag and he's better at it than Max, which was a big pop.
Yeah, he was like, I've done everything you're doing now, and I did it before you, better than you.
So this first line is great, but this is where the promo battle sort of dissolves. Called Max's mother a call girl.
And his father an ambulance station attorney.
And after your dad knocked your mother up, she still made him pay for it.
Gotta get that green, baby.
Which is great. He then called Max's girlfriend a call girl and says that while he was doing 60 minutes with Ospreay in the ring, she was doing 60 minutes with the locker room outside.
So with 10 wrestlers outside in the carpet.
With 10 men.
10 men.
Yeah.
10 skinny men.
Yeah. They're probably short, but they're not skinny in AEW. Yeah, Max is drowning in shit and he's a scared little boy and calls Max a one-hit wonder, which immediately pisses Max off even more.
And leads to chance, which I'm glad that that's the thing now.
Yeah, Max, he made himself without nepotism, which is true. Jeff absolutely got ahead because of nepotism.
But, I mean, he didn't need his daddy here to make his own company to make himself.
Yeah. Yeah, Max then proceeds to do what Jay White used to do back in his run as Bullet Club leader, which he just names off all the places he sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, though.
And a line that I just want to point out that's absolutely getting clipped for usage against you is, "Let me tell you something, Jeff."
It was good stuff. Yeah. I do like as well, like, the way Max was speaking, like, his whole thing was like, I'm the best. But when he mentioned being the best in the world, when he was talking about like sellout rate and sellout stadiums, ticket sales through the roof, the biggest show in pro wrestling, he was like, I was the best wrestler in the world. And he said was, he didn't say is, because it's that little insecurity of Max, which I love, because it's real.
Yeah, he's very insecure.
Yeah, it's his whole gimmick.
And then he channels Stone Cold Steve Austin by saying he needs the Triple B. And he hates... Yeah, and then he says, the fact that he's waiting in line behind Jeff Jarrett pisses him off. Yeah. He tells Jeff that nobody cares about him, which up until a little while ago was true.
This is very, very true.
When people cared about him as a meme, it's only in the last year or so that he's really become a character people actually vibe with and want to see on the screen.
Like, I mean, with Max, it's not sour grapes, but the fact that Jeff Jarrett's challenging for the AEW title and he's not just sick.
Yeah. We get a Slap Nuts mention, which pops the curse something huge. After Slappy New Year. Yeah. I was glad to see it back.
You know they're the Pop the Boys, I respect it.
Yeah. MJF brings up Owen, and to be fair, he doesn't it does not overstay its welcome.
Yeah, but Max was always gonna go there.
Yeah,
but
yeah, fair play to him. It doesn't it's not disrespectful. Max it wasn't it's not the Brian Pillman stuff.
I was just gonna say it wasn't stopping on the back going, "Hey Pillman."
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
The worst thing he says is involving Jeff himself, which is that he calls Jeff Jarrett a leech, and this is finally what gets Jeff to deck Max in the face.
When he goes to say, he's like, "You're riding the coattails of your best friend, Owen," and it's like that Max spot where he doesn't get to say the last word. He just gets popped in the face.
Max with a great heel escape. He takes Karen Jarrett hostage, so he's able to get out of the ring unscathed. Then he just runs, which is it's just actually quite a smart thing to do. I don't know why more heels don't do that. Yeah.
There's classic heel stuff though. I feel like it's like you'd ask me,
Very
like,
Ric Flair.
that was Smoky Mountain back in the 80s. I was watching tapes because Max is like a nerd. But yeah, really good escape from Max. I really liked it. Karen Jarrett, obviously the eternal baby face that she is. The crowd love her.
Yay.
Yay, Karen. But yeah, it was good stuff.
We get a brief little promo package for something on Maximum Carnage Collision. Which is just Okada, and then Ishii, obviously his longtime friend from Chaos in New Japan, goes like, Okada in English goes like, "Oh, Ishii, how you doing?" And
it's like,
doesn't say anything, looks at the title, touches it, and just like walks off. I love that. Ishii is just one of those guys who's like, it's like, if you're a serious guy who people get over, it's great. But if you can maintain that serious in a humorous context, it's even better. Which he does. Yeah. It's beautiful. I love it.
It's great stuff.
We then move on to our next match, which is Christian Cage taking on Hook. This has been built up for quite a while now.
I mean, it was better than I expected, and the crowd was really into it, which is...
I just have, as a note, by herself, Mother Wayne, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just pop up the Soldier Boy meme there. Yeah. Hook immediately blindsides Christian, which is great. Christian, a few weeks back, called Taz a deadbeat dad, which is funny. I love that. It's good classic heel heat.
Or from the Dom Mysterio playbook.
After getting battered for a few minutes, Christian's like, nah. He just goes to leaves. Hook pursues him. He gets him back into the ring. Christian starts begging off. He wants Hook to be his son.
He hugs him.
Emotions for a hug. Hook hugs him and immediately hits him with a belly to belly.
Oh, it was beautiful. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. Christian gets the punches in the corner from Hook. He reverses out of it. Gets Hook into the corner and then slowly hits the punches while staring directly at Taz.
Taz was getting heated.
I love that. Yeah, Taz stands up. Taz, no, he stands up there, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. There was a little bit when the rest of the patriarchy, the Christian Cage's bastard sons come out, and Nick Wayne's over by the commentary desk, and Taz's like, "Get away from me, Nick Wayne. Get away. Hey, Excalibur. Tell Nick Wayne to get away."
Christian gets dumped over the top rope to the floor. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
The MVP spot.
Yeah. Hook, which is uncharacteristic for him, hits a flying elbow strike off the apron, which is pretty. I love that.
Nasty.
At this point, I noticed Kazuhiro Shibata was at ringside, and then I asked, "Hey, where's Samoa Joe?" Don't say anything. Yeah. So I was wondering where Joe. I was asking around because I saw Ibu and Sean Ross Sapp Vig posting about him the other day.
Right.
Yep. So Hook then gets trapped between the ring post and the steps, which looked nasty. He was selling his ribs for a while. Christian busts out his frog splash, which is great. Then goes for another stolen finisher when he goes for the spear, and he gets kicked. Hook kicks out at one. Then there was a great thing. So Hook locks in a rear naked choke.
I love
Christian jumps onto the ropes to avoid it.
He climbs up with his leg.
Yeah, it's great. He stands on it, tries to get out, doesn't work. Hook gets
holds
up
him for 5
for the red room. Yeah. Hook is then gets knocked while he's on the back into the ring post. Yeah. So and then he gets hit and he gets lawn darted into the ring post, which looked nasty. Yeah. So Hook's outside. Christian nails Shibata with a kill switch outside, which just immediately made everyone panic. He's like, no, don't do that. Yeah.
No, to be fair, I think it was a reverse DDT, but Excalibur did say kill switch, and then he corrected himself right away. He was like, "Oh no, I was wrong. That was a DDT."
Yeah. They get back in the ring. Hook hits the counters out of the kill switch into the red room, which doesn't stick, and then Hook gets on the top rope, jumps on him to hit the red room. It looks like it's over, and then the Bastard Sons hit the ring for the DQ. Boom. It's a good match. As they're beating up Taz, Taz gets up from the announce desk. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And then, as I previously mentioned, as I wondered, out comes Samoa Joe. He's back. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Which, I just want to say, since the Hurt Business are now in the tag team scene, give these three the trios belts, please.
Make them mean something. I mean, it was phenomenal. Big Joe chance too for Joe.
Make Hook earn Taz's towel, because Joe and Shibata both have towels as well. Make Hook earn his towel. Yeah. Yeah. Which I was very glad by. I love this, even with the DQ. I am very, very happy to see Samoa Joe back. He has been sorely missed.
Yeah, and I'm happy he's not feuding with Jericho.
All I'm saying is, let him take the belt if he does.
But make it like a weak feud.
Fuck it, just let Joe Joe get the record for most days back.
Honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a split promo between Daniel Garcia and the Undisputed Kingdom. Now that the Undisputed Kingdom boys are out of the interminable Bebe-verse feud.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's
good. Kyle doubts Daniel Garcia. And then Adam Cole mentions, we're on the hunt for gold. So what I'm taking this to mean is we're going to get Kyle O'Reilly versus Daniel Garcia soon, which, yes, please.
Oh my God, that'd be delightful. And make them heels. Make them heels, you Kevin.
We get a backstage promo with Jeff Jarrett. We just hear a fan very audibly say, "Get this guy off our screen!
Get this piece of trash out of my ring!"
Yeah. And before Jeff can say much of anything, Dustin Rhodes pops out. Yeah. Dustin is behind Jeff 110%, thinks he can be the AW World Champion, and they're the last of their kind, which I have just written down as they're the last carnies around.
It took me however many years I've been watching Dustin Rhodes to realize he just sounds like a gritty veteran version of Woody from Toy Story. He sounds really like Tom Hanks in Toy Story, and I've never noticed
Cowboy Tom Hanks.
But him speaking about it, I was like, oh my God, he's just Woody, isn't he? But he was like, that disrespectful little shit has only been in the business for a minute.
So who's Buzz?
Oh my God, that's a great question. Sammy Guevara. He's the shiny new toy that nobody likes.
Yeah. Alright. And we move on to the Women's Casino Gauntlet match. Let's go.
Yes! Let's fucking go, dude.
First off, the AW Women's World Champion Mariah May was on comms. I just wrote, I wish Nigel was here too. But, Mariah's not letting this opportunity go without a little flirting, so she flirts with Taz.
Yeah, she goes, since you got that knee fixed, why don't we roll around in the ring a bit? And Taz's like, I'm happily married. And she's like, I'm in the ring.
It's like, I'm retired. I don't want to get back in there. It's great. He just immediately diffuses it.
Yeah, and then she tries to crack into Shabati later on as well. She's like, hey, Shabani. And he's like,
no.
Or Excalibur gets no love. Not a fan of the luchadors, Mariah.
No, he's just, obviously Excalibur is still heartbroken that William Regal's not around to flirt with him.
That's true. I would be too if I got that on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
You're looking scrub diddly upsies today, Bard of the Mask.
Yeah. Alright, so Mariah briefly also brings up that Anna Jay cannot challenge her for the AW Women's World Championship again. And that's why she's not in the Casino Gauntlet. So, yeah.
Great.
Is that more high pitched or less high pitched than Ricochet's?
Oh no, they're opposite ends of the spectrum. She's like a sultry little, and he's like, I've just hit puberty.
It's like Gillian Hall versus Trish Stratus.
Oh Jesus Christ! Great
Yeah.
call, sir. Great call.
All right. So as was decided by last week, Chris Statlander is out first, and number 2 is Jamie Hayter, who got a huge pop and popped me huge as well.
Yeah.
Which this starts with. So the theme of this match was meat. Lady Meat
Hoss.
is here. Yes.
Lady Hoss.
They have a great back and forth segment. Jamie hits Chris with the hate breaker, which looked nasty. Yeah, Jamie gets chucked out of the ring. It's great. And then we have the AEW return of Megan Bain, which I have just written in parentheses, where the fuck have you been for 2 years?
Apparently Stardom.
Yeah, she's been rumored to be coming back for a very long time.
Was it?
Apparently she was sent to Stardom on excursion.
Yeah, you were saying you wanted her to come back as Monet's new heater after.
Well, that was the role she was rumored for a long time. Yeah.
She's phenomenal. The presentation
she looks
of her was
incredible.
Great.
Yeah.
May put her over huge. Like you could hear her breathing heavy. She's like, "What does she eat for breakfast, babies?"
Yeah. All I just want to say is between her and Penelope Ford, what the fuck is Joey Janela doing to get these women? I don't get it.
I don't know. Look at him. He's like the Pete Davidson of wrestling.
That's a great comparison. But Megan Bain immediately cleans house. It's very rare that you have someone bigger and stronger than Chris Statlander, but there you go.
There we go, baby.
They have a big strike off in the middle of the ring, and the crowd is very much behind this. And number 4 is Julia Hart, and it's very cool to see the crowd chant behind her.
Dude, honestly, as the fucking music fades, you hear the crowd, the house always wins. It was so good. It's so good.
Yeah. It's great. You know, obviously she and Jamie recently had a match.
They
won. So there's a bit of history there. There's a bit of heat there, brother.
There's heat, brother.
Yeah.
There's
Speaking of, obviously Chris is in there. She took the TBS championship from Chris. And then the woman who took the TBS championship from her comes out next. And out comes, wow!
I'll never not pop.
I will just like to say I have written here in parentheses, she does Batista's taunt, which popped me huge.
Dude, I was so pumped up. It was like she does the big pounce and then she's like, bah! It's like, what?
Honestly, I imagine if Batista knows about her, he would probably co-sign that. It's like, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. I never saw her as the female Batista, but I'm with it. I'm with
that big power bomb, yeah.
I mean, yeah, true, actually.
She just goes to Chris
drops her ass.
Yeah. Out comes Tony Storm to a massive pop.
Huge pop for Tony. Yeah. Tony Time.
Yeah.
Apology. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she immediately goes for a roll up, which I love.
Your rookie gimmick, I love it.
Yeah. It doesn't work. You get She's a Rookie chance going. Lovely. And speaking of Australians, since this match is, of course, to challenge Mariah May in Australia, we get Holly Cameron.
My god. Mariah May.
Mariah May is great. We'll talk about
She's so good. She's like, she gets so happy when Harley Cameron comes in. Like, it'll be fantastic to wrestle Harley Cameron in Australia.
Leave her in Australia.
Leave her there. And then she was like, you felt the wrath? I felt the wrath. I had to wash my hands and do tests after.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal work. Phenomenal work.
So, I think it was Chris and Megan who were just slugging each other outside. There, I think Willow just sort of levels them.
So Willow levels Megan with a crossbody.
A very cute pose outside. I loved it.
Yeah, and then Chris cannonballs from the stage down onto both of them.
It's beautiful.
Really good stuff.
I think Chris tries to get back in the ring. Is it Tony hits her with a hip attack?
Yeah, hip attack knocks her clean as well.
Yeah, so Julia missed Harley Cameron, which I need to see Harley Cameron more. We need it.
That is the greatest missed sell I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
was so good.
And unfortunately, reveling this distracts Julie for too long as Tony Storm rolls her up with a cradle. It is Tony versus Mariah 2 at Grand Slam Australia.
Yeah, she hit
Great
the Kerwin
match.
special.
Yeah.
I respect it. and Mariah was buzzing.
Shane, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, hey, Shaz Beef, baby. You're going down, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mariah May was so happy. She was like giggling away when Tony won. She's like, I'm gonna
She
clean
doesn't
the
know
clock
this
out of
new
the rug."
Tony Storm.
The old Tony Storm, technically.
Yeah, so this was as obvious as the result was. This was a great match. I loved it.
Oh my god, it could have gone for another like 20 minutes and I wouldn't have been angry. I'll be honest. It was just such good work.
Well, she hasn't gotten the graphic, as Mariah pointed out in commentary. Megan Bain's back. She seems to be sticking around. I'm glad. She is very, very good.
She is good, and her presentation. If they keep building her like that, like she looked like a star as soon as she walked out on stage.
Yeah.
Like her entrance gimmick stuff, very, very good.
Yeah, I do think it's probably time for Mariah to drop the belt. Like she's done. When she's been given the opportunity, she's done great. It's just the booking's not behind her. It's
the booking
tried her personally. Yeah,
the booking tried nothing, and they were all out.
Like her performances have been incredible.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
She's just not been given the same opportunity as the men have gotten, which we'll get to shortly.
The big push.
Yeah. Yeah, and because they're also clearly building up a lot of heel challengers like Julia, for example, and Megan, if she is sticking around. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We have our main, I assume is the main event for Grand Slam Australia.
You would think so. It should be.
It's great. I am very excited to see what goes in. And finally, we have our main event as Powerhouse Hobbs takes on the hometown boy Jon Moxley.
Since his own.
Yeah, we get the obvious tracking shot of Mox walking through the stadium, but he comes out of the stadium, and I just have written down Mox is trekking to the ring to the snow, just like me for real. Yeah.
It was cold. It was
very cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
For love reason.
I just want to point out Excalibur is now saying the quiet part out loud in regards to the belt being held hostage. You said it, not me.
I agree.
Yeah, Pac at ringside. He's facing Adam Cole. He's facing Adam Copeland, not Adam Cole. And
excuse me, that's Cope, sir.
Yeah. He's gonna have to cope when he gets beaten by Cope.
Poor Pac.
Taz mentions, of course, with Hobbs in the main event for the AEW World Championship. The Team Taz is eating good. Except you, Ricky, fuck you.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, actually.
Yeah. It starts off with Hobbs just slapping the shit out of Mox.
Oh my god, those
He's
forearms.
not getting a lick in for the first 3 or 4 minutes. We get AEW Dark mentioned. I really missed that show.
Me too. Oh my god. Taz's commentary on that was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, Taz and Daddy Magic and Paul White Elevation just shooting the shit for 20 minutes.
That was so good. And Eddie had come on. Kingston on commentary on that show was great.
Lolo!
He just didn't give a shit. Like, they'd be like, do you care about the match? He's like, no. I'm here for the main event.
Taz also mentions that Mox is on a very clear cut cycle. He looks great. He's dropped a few LBS. Yeah, that's pounds. For all of you British people, for all of you European people out there.
Yeah, you dirty European.
Yeah. Hobbs hits Mox with a spine buster into the buckles, which looked vicious.
Span on a
and then, with his teeth, rips out Mox's earring.
He was Orton versus Jeff Hardy. That's what he was doing.
Fucking wild. So Mox is bleeding, but it's not as visible as it usually is.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And Mox gets back into control. Goes up tries to hit him with the Death Rider, but Hobbs just powers out of it and just chucks him into the mat. I love this.
He's huge, dude. He's so jacked.
Power slams him. Only gets a close to, but you can hear just very audibly chatting. Raph, that was 3. Come on, man.
Hey, 3, man. Come on, there were 3.
Mox puts Hobbs into the crossarm breaker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as much as I enjoyed this match, I got Fight Forever chance. I was like,
he's a
know.
hometown boy. That's why, you know, they're just happy to see that.
Hobbs looked great during this match.
Oh, looked phenomenal.
So he gets on the ramp, probably charging in, and then out of nowhere, when the ref is distracted by Marina Shafir, Healer Yuta comes out, lays out the Psycho knee, and the boos this man gets.
That damn little rat bastard. There's gotta be Healer Yuta.
He gets more heat than Ricochet did.
He really does, yeah. And
Ricochet got a lot of heat as well. Yeah.
He's a scrawny little bastard, that's why. He killed our favourite. He killed our fave, Dave.
Yeah, and as he gets rolled back into the ring, this does not end up with the 3 count as you might expect. Hobbs hits a cracker of a spine buster.
Mean one too.
And Mox gets him in the rear naked choke. This doesn't work.
No.
And Marina Shafir hits him with the briefcase. That doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
Yeah. Mox hits the paradigm shift, just the normal butterfly suplex. That doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
Too. Yeah. Eventually, he's able to get him into the bulldog choke. And eventually, with all of the violence that has been inflicted upon him during this match, all the damage, Hobbs just passes out. Yeah. Good match. Good main event. A little disappointing considering. Oh, hi, Sean.
Hi, Maroney. We were just nearly finished.
And now,
now you're gonna have to pause.
I just paused myself.
Okay, so Death Riders beat up Hobbs for a very long time. Out come Rated-FTR. The heels scurry off, and we immediately cut the credits. That's maximum carnage for you.
I was saltier than JR at this. My boy Powerhouse have been abused for the whole match. They've been cheating the whole match. He's been beaten down by everyone on the outside, hit with briefcases, hit with little Healer Yuta's scrawny little knees. And then after the match, he gets beaten down by all of them. His knee gets Pillmanized. And then they come out. Then Edge decides to show his face. That son of a bitch. What? Why didn't they come out right away? Where were they? All right? I'll be the JR in this situation. Where the hell were they, Excalibur? Why are they coming out showing me?
Where the hell were they? Yeah, but that was maximum carnage. It was a great show.
Yes, it was very, very, very good. And then the main event happened, and I liked it.
To be fair, in terms of the actual match, it was better than the other matches Moxley's had.
Recently. It's the most I've enjoyed a Mox match in a while.
Yeah.
So positives all around, I think.
Great stuff. I've had a great time. Yeah, Jeff, what do you think of the show overall?
I think really, really good. Strong, consistent stuff we've been getting from them lately, which is always good. I've been loving the smaller venue. I really adored the Casino Gauntlet from the women. It was just so good. It's just like, give them that much time, like every week, please, or more, because all of them are so good. Like you saw the depth even in that match alone, and that's like. There's so many more that they have.
Serena Deeb, Mercedes Moné,
and Diana Perazzo.
Melo's come back recently.
Yeah,
Athena.
Fucking Athena, please.
Look, she's coming. She's coming. Don't hurry.
Yeah, exactly. Look, on the whole, very excited as we move towards, I think, Grand Slam being the next big show they've got.
Yeah.
I think, isn't it? Isn't
great.
Yeah.
Middle February. But that's going to do it for us in terms of if you're restless for more wrestling content. You can find us at the links now in the description.
Yay, we don't have to run through them all.
Yeah. Original content is coming. Top 10 lists. The Kings and Queens of the Indie series, where we go over the independent careers of current wrestling stars. We have individual video essays coming, myself doing Jack Ferry. Jeff doing the late great Bray Wyatt. And in regards to other stuff, we have top 10 lists. We've got reviews, recaps, paper reviews, all that stuff coming. Plus shorts. Because I don't know if TikTok's going to even be a thing this time next week, but let's find out.
Well, we'll be will we be fine? I'm confused. I know
We'll be
America.
fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Fuck the Americans.
Yeah.
Unless you watch this.
Yeah, in which case we love it.
Come back.
All right, but yeah, that's going to do it for us here. Thank you. And we'll see you in the next one. Remember,
Take care.
Go on, buddy. Say the rest of it.
Take care. Have a good buggy. Sláinte, my boys.
Yeah. Just remember to watch the wrestling you love because wrestling should be fun. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.